Hey, it's me, your finance bro there, and welcome to my second ever YouTube video. For this one, I wanted to talk about the complete guide and all my experience for acing your next interview. In my professional career, I've had 3 different interviews and I've gotten 3 different job offers. So I think I know what I'm talking about here when it comes to interview etiquette, how to operate, how to answer questions, how to come prepared. So it's one of those things like when you see like an NFL like highlight reel, it's like all the work was done in the film room and the weight room and on the practice field before you got to the field. Like the game was already won by the time you showed up to the field. And a lot of that kind of holds true for interviews as well. And obviously like rehearse technical questions, rehearse behavioral questions. Like those are like kind of like obvious things, but there are a couple of things that you can be doing to go like above and beyond what like the average person does. And so the first one, and this is kind of a cheat code that I recommend, is to find people online who used to work at that company and hit them up and be like, hey, do you have like a couple minutes to like hop on the phone? Like I'm really interested. I have an interview. Like it'd be great to speak to someone who's worked there. And ask them all of your stupid questions, because these are people that are not going to be in your interview. These are people that don't work at the company anymore. And you'll be able to basically get your answers to your stupid questions, get a better lay of the land. And they're really not incentivized to like, give you anything other than like the candid like truth in their responses. And I think they're pretty insightful, both from like a group culture perspective, from an hours perspective, from what they actually do on a day-to-day basis. Like some of the most candid conversations you could have about a job are from people who used to work there. The second thing in terms of like what you can do to prepare beyond just like the basics of preparing interview questions is look up articles that company was in recently or the industry was in recently. That way you're just aware of current events. Like the last thing you want to do is walk into an interview that day and they were on the front page of the Wall Street Journal for some like cool, amazing deal they just did and you don't even know about it. Like that is the last thing you want to have happen. So make sure that you read up on the company and the industry beforehand, just to make sure that you're like knowledgeable about like current events and current topics. And when it comes to actually going into the interview, one, from a dress code perspective, it's always better to overdress than underdress. Like, sure, you may feel a little weird if everyone's wearing like a collared shirt or like no tie or no suit jacket and you're in a full suit and tie. Like, I've never heard anyone come out of like an interview and be like, wow, like let's not hire that guy. Like he took it too seriously. Like he dressed too formally. Like, yeah, sure. Like you might look a little buttoned up, but it's better to look buttoned up than like not like have your stuff together. And the second is to show up with your resume. And I know this is like silly and like I don't own a printer, or like I own a printer, it doesn't have ink. I don't even know. Like go to like a store and just print it out beforehand. Like you'd be shocked at how disorganized corporate America is and the amount of people that will show up to your interview that have no idea who you are, have not read your resume yet, and don't have a copy of your resume. Just show up with the resume. It's one of those like great ways to show that like you're prepared. You can do the blocking and tackling, you can do the logistical stuff, especially from a junior perspective, that a lot of people mess up. And that leads me to my next point, which is show up early. Do not show up on time, show up like 10 or 15 minutes early. It is way better to be like, oh wow, you're so early than, oh my God, you're late, or oh my God, like your interview starts in 37 seconds, like hurry up and get there. Like get there, get situated, get comfortable, go to the bathroom, make sure your tie is straight, make sure that your hair is done, make sure you're not something in your teeth, whatever it is that you need to do, like your whole pregame ritual to make sure that you're mentally in the right spot and that you look professional and presentable. Get there early and just get it done. And I literally, before every interview, I will just like look at myself in the mirror and just be like, focus, like lock in. That's my ritual. It's kind of weird, but like just like that's what I have to do. Is like look myself in the mirror and just like get locked in, get in like game mode, listen to like whatever music it is you need to pump yourself up. Whatever your pregame ritual is, just make sure you give yourself time to do it comfortably. And then that leads me to my next point, which is when you actually get into the interview room with the people, it's the intangibles matter a lot. Like the firm handshake matters, like the having good posture. Like I have terrible posture, but like having good posture matters. Like eye contact, handshake, all those things are pretty important for the first kind of time you meet someone. And the next thing I'll talk about is, for someone like me, you've probably noticed this from my videos by now, I talk pretty fast. When I'm in an interview, I need to talk slowly and calmly and composed in a confident manner. See how much different that sounded than like the rambling that I typically do. Obviously I get excited in these videos and I'm not being interviewed by you guys, but if I was to interview, you speak slowly, you need to speak confidently, you need to project, and you need to think about what you're gonna say. It is much better to take 4 or 5 seconds to think about what you want to say before actually speaking. Like again, no one's gonna come out of your interview and be like, wow, take like an extra 5 seconds to think about my super hard question I asked him, let's not give him an offer. But what they will say is, wow, he just like immediately started rambling on about random stuff that made no sense. I don't think he knows what he's talking about. Like take a deep breath, calm down, think about it, don't say something dumb, and then answer the question in a slow, calm, articulate manner. And then that leads me to my next point, which is make sure you get the basic blocking and tackling done. Have an answer to why you want the job, why you want to work there, why you want the industry, why you want the position, blah, 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 blah. There's some form of the same question in all of these interviews. And I've talked about this before in many, many, many of my videos, which is use the funnel method. Why your experience, whether it's school or work or personal or professional, whatever it is, has funneled you in on like your entire life basis to where you are today. Like, I'm here today for this job at this company, for this role, because of these 3 things that have happened to me over the course of my life that have funneled me in to where I am today that make me want to do this. Then once you ace your interview, once you answer all the questions, great. They'll probably ask you, do you have any questions? Make sure you have a couple of questions prepared. Again, this is where like reading about the company, reading about the industry comes in really handy, where you can sound educated and articulate and ask questions. And another great thing that I'll notice is if someone asks you a question in a previous interview, like usually multiple people will interview you in multiple rounds when you have like any sort of big interview day in person, ask questions that you weren't sure about to other people. Because one, you'll sound like super educated because, oh wow, like if someone who works there is asking it and you're already asking it, then like you must know something. But in reality, you're kind of just like being a parrot and regurgitating what other people said. I'm not saying like don't try to understand it, but if there's something you're genuinely curious about that someone mentioned, ask it to the next person and they'll be impressed by what you did. And then also remember people's names. Like the worst thing you can do is when like someone walks into the room and is like, oh, did you speak to so-and-so? And you're like, who is so-and-so? And so the way I like to do this is at the end of every like individual interview with a person, I'll be like, thank you so much for your time. Like, do you have like an email address just so I can like follow up after the interview and get their first name and last name? Because usually like most emails will be like the first name and last name, or like first initial, last name, something like that. And that's twofold. One, helps you remember everyone's names that you spoke to. And that leads me to my last point, which is after the interview, what to do. Thank everyone for their time. Go home and send thank you emails to everyone and try to make them as personalized and tailored as possible. Like, thank you, like person A, B, C, and D for topics 1, 2, 3, and 4 that we each individually talked about to each one of them. And it will look tailored, it will look bespoke, it will look polished, and it will look like you know what you're talking about. So hopefully that's helpful. That's my interview guide. I went a little more in depth here than I would typically do in some of my other videos, but that's what you should do beforehand, what you should do in the interview, and what you should do afterwards. So hopefully you guys ace it and get your the job offer that you want. I wish you guys all the best out there.